Medical school is heavy. There is insane amounts of content and it can sometimes become very difficult to take and organize your notes. So in this video, I'm going to introduce you to the holy trio of note taking. Now this includes Notion, Anki and ChatGPT. I will go through how I've been using each of these and how that's been useful. So first, just starting with Notion. Now Notion is going to be your primary note taking resource. I'm not being sponsored by them, but I would say that Notion is the best note-taking resource. Now, Notion is amazing for organization. I have my whole life on here, but just to quickly show you my uni work. So that's the main medicine page. So I've got everything on here, and if I was to lose this, I'd probably have to drop out of uni. But that's a benefit. Everything is backed up and you won't lose it. So let's just go into the main bulk, which is my PBL. So let's go on to year 1. And let's choose the 4th module, which is the heart. Okay, so you can split everything however you like. And that's a benefit of Notion. It's very flexible. So I've got all my lectures on there on the top. I've created a page for every single lecture. And I can add in the slides. So go into the slides and I can refer back to them. I can create toggles and toggles, which is very useful. And it means that I can focus on what I need to. So I've got a toggle for example, cardiac output, and toggle for the two things which make up the cardiac output, which is the stroke volume and the heart rate. And then toggle for what affects heart rate. You get my point. You can keep going on and on forever. Okay, so let's just go back to another module. So I'll go on to year 2 now. So let's pick the second module. So I've got my recommended resources on there as a to-do list. And if I want to read something, I can just click on the link and it'll take me onto there. So for example, the NICE guidelines for antibiotic prescribing, and when I've read it, I can just tick it off and it'll cross it out for me, so I know that I've read it and I can just move on to the next resource. Okay, so just going back to the main medicine page. So here I have a separate page for every big thing. So communication skills, clinical skills, anatomy, and so let's just go into clinical skills then. So in clinical skills, I have a page for every single examination that we've been taught. So for example, for GI, I can go into that, and then there's general inspection, appearance. So clicking appearance, so it shows the different things that I can be looking out for. So for example, pale conjunctiva or cachexia, and I've got pictures on there to kind of help me identify that, and that's really useful. Now, something which impresses me quite a lot, but may not be too relevant, is that I can even embed videos onto here. So going on to communication skills, let's go on to week 5, just a random week. So here is a consultation practice from I don't know when, but I can look back onto it and reflect from it. So if I can do as much as embedding a video into Notion, then I can probably do anything else. So everything I need is on my fingertips. Everything is on my fingertips. And you can share your notes with your friends. If I'm missing out on anything, I may look at his notes and this can help me out, fill in the blanks and vice versa. And Notion, just to let you know, is completely free for students. All you have to do is using your uni email, make an account, and you can upgrade to the Education Plus plan for absolutely free. Now that's amazing, but I'm sure you would have heard by now that the best type of revision is active revision with spaced repetition. And this is where Anki comes in. Notion is to make notes and Anki is to revise from those notes. So my next step would be to basically transfer my notes from a Notion to Anki. And although this may seem like a waste of time, I found this to be a really effective tool for revision. Now this is because whenever I would be making any notes on Anki, I would make sure that I understood everything fully. If I didn't, I would search up online and figure out before moving on. And I may even add pictures to it to help with my understanding. Now, it's really important that the questions are broken down as much as possible on Anki. So for example, for the investigations for acute heart failure, I'm not just going to ask what the investigations for acute heart failure are, but I'll try and break it down. So I might ask, why would we do a full blood count? Or why would we do a troponin test? Or instead of asking everything about the investigation for asthma in one card, I'll split it up, such as what does the bronchodilator reversibility for asthma show? Or what would bloods for asthma show? And this makes it easier to remember things, as you can focus on one thing specifically. But obviously, some things will be longer, such as what the chronic asthma management is. And we can't really break it down because you need to know the order. Now, a function I really liked was labeling pictures, which is really useful for anatomy. So I can just copy a picture and I can add labels to it like this. Again, it breaks everything down, and when I'm practicing, I can just focus on one thing. And obviously, I won't pick up everything at the same pace, so some things may be harder to grasp. And if I don't remember it, I can choose the option accordingly, and this means that it will show up more frequently. And the algorithm is amazing, and you can just trust Anki with it. I'm just going to show you my Anki organization now. So I have everything split up into years. Please ignore the stats. I enjoyed my summer way too much. So when I open a year, it splits it up into different categories. Now this is specific to my medical school and you can adapt it to yours. Within this, I have everything split up into modules and then by learning objectives. Now, an amazing thing is that if you want to revise a specific LO, then you can choose that. But if you want to revise the whole of module, then you can choose that. Or even if you want to revise the whole year, you can also do that. And that can be really useful before exams. Okay, perfect. But what about this guy? The ChatGPT will be helping us throughout the whole note-taking process. Now, just going back to making my notes, I may come across things I've never heard of, or maybe the resource doesn't explain it well enough. I can just use ChatGPT to explain anything. Now, you can ask it to summarize long paragraphs and basically just ask about anything. But make sure that you aren't using this as your primary resource, because some things may not be up to date, some things may be wrong. It hasn't happened to me yet, but it can potentially happen, and you may be missing out on a lot of information. So don't do that. Even ChatGPT tells you not to. And here it is, the holy trio of note taking. Hopefully this video has been useful, and let me know in the comment section below if you have any other tips. Thanks for watching.